All right, guys. So I did my first um, wood burning image yesterday using Cricut Design Space. And this is a sort of like a wood burning hack because you're not truly using a wood burning device. So I'm going to go ahead and have Cricut to cut this design out for me. And then we'll get started with the wood burning portion of the process. Now, if you want to see the entire process from beginning to end, how I mix everything and all that good stuff, I do have a complete wood burning video tutorial that I did on yesterday, which was March the 9th. So go back and take a look at it. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. All right, guys, after we sized it in Cricut, we're now ready to cut this thing. So we're going to go to material size. We're going to select the 12 by 12 for the mat. Do not mirror. You're going to click on continue. I'm going to allow our Cricut machine to connect here. All right. And then I'm going to browse and locate the premium vinyl. So I'm just going to type in vinyl and enter. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to select premium vinyl and done. And now we're going to go ahead and load our mat. All right, guys. So for this particular part, you're just going to need either premium vinyl, either removable or either permanent. Either one will work. And it doesn't matter what color the vinyl is because we're just using it to create our template. So I have my 12 by 12 mat and we're going to go ahead and have Cricut to cut the design out for us. And I have my fine point blade inside of clamp B. All right. So I'm going to let this go ahead and do its thing. Now with this particular project, we're going to be removing the vinyl in the reverse. So it's going to be where instead of removing the outer areas of the image, we're going to be removing the inside parts of the image, which we would normally leave behind. Okay, so I want to let this go ahead and cut, and then once it's done, I'll come back and we'll move on to weeding this in the reverse. All right, guys, so our image has completed cutting out. We're now going to start the reverse weeding process. And you always want to make sure that you can see your cuts, and you can clearly see my cuts there in the vinyl. So we're going to go ahead and release our mat. All right, let's go to the next phase. All right, guys, so I'm going to start the reverse weeding process. So the parts that you would normally leave in, those are the parts that you're going to now take out. All right. So we're going to be I call it reverse weeding. I don't know if that's the proper term for it, but we're taking out the bits that we would normally leave in. So I'm going to do a little bit just so you can see. Again, if you want to see the complete video tutorial when I did my first one of these, go back and look for the one that I did on March the 9th. I will put these also in my playlist. I think I have it in the playlist for Cricut Design Space, so you can go back to my playlist for Cricut Design Space and you'll see it there. It's the last video that I did on the 9th. But it'll say wood burning. All right, so I'm going to show you so you can see how normally we would leave the A and all of this in, but we would take out the outer side of everything. This time I'm going to be taking out the inside, not the outside. So I'm going to finish reverse weeding this, and then I'm going to come back and we'll move on to the next step. All right. All right, guys. So far I've gotten the mother's love part, and then part of the oval shape done. So now I'm going to focus on this area, and then I'll come back. All right, y'all. Now I'm getting to the face part. Now this part is going to be the hardest because you got your eyes, your nose. I had to improvise a little bit with his eye, but I'm going to keep going. All right, I'll be back. All right, guys, this is how far I've gotten so far. Whew. Now on to the mother's face. All right, I'll be back. All right, y'all, we made it. So I did have to improvise a little bit on her eyelash right there. And I went back and tried to make his eye look better because I lost those 2 bits. But I think it looks good overall. So now we're going to take our 12 by 12 transfer tape. And we're going to take the transfer tape and put it on top of here to then pull the image or the vinyl off of the backing. All right. So let me get my transfer tape and we'll move on. All right, guys, I have the Cricut. This is the Cricut transfer tape. This is not the strong grip. So I repeat myself, I'm not using the strong grip. Sometimes that strong grip can be strong. Now this transfer tape, guys, if you're new to Cricut or your cutting machine, you can reuse this transfer tape. So once I'm done transferring this vinyl over to the wood, I'm going to take and put this transfer tape back on this. So do not throw away your transfer tape. All right. You want to make sure you get this where it covers the entire image, guys. Because if it doesn't cover the entire image, it's going to be hard getting it off of this, getting the vinyl off of this backing. All right, it's going a little Cricut, y'all, but I think I got it for the most part. All right, so this part down here on the bottom, I'm going to take another piece of transfer tape, and this is from yesterday. So I'm going to take a piece of this transfer tape and get this bottom. You just want to make sure that you get the entire image. Oh, y'all can't see what I'm doing, y'all. I'm sorry. So I just took the transfer tape and laid the transfer tape down on top of my image. And so now I'm adding transfer tape so that I can cover the bottom, because I kind of went off grid a little bit on the bottom. But transfer tape is reusable. So once I finish getting this image over to my wood, then I'm going to take this and put it right back on this transfer sheet, and I can use it the next time I need to transfer an image. I got a piece of vinyl on here from my previous go around, and it don't want to come up, but it's not going to transfer over because I have a piece of vinyl on top of that. All right, so at this point, guys, you want to varnish your image to where the image stays on the transfer tape, but it comes up off of this white backing. All right, so we want this entire image to come up off of this vinyl backing. Okay, so that is our goal. Now what I will tell you
is that really focus on these little bits like this. I like to take my Cricut weeding tool and really focus on those little bits, because when you lift up, they will lift up too. All right, so I always go in on those and really, you know, hit home. The larger areas, you don't have to worry about so much. Even your little bits inside of your letters, you want to make sure you hit those, because they will, like I say, they will lift, they will come out, or not come up, shall I say. I think we're good. So we're gonna now start to pull the vinyl up. I'm gonna turn it over and do it on the back side as well. This is when you find pieces of vinyl that you're like, where is that piece at? There they go, right here. This is from another project that I did, y'all. And while I'm here, I'm just gonna get them off of here. All right, so I'm just gonna rub the back side as well to try to help me get this vinyl up off of this transfer off of the backing of the vinyl. And then we'll be ready to then take it over to our wood. Now the wood that I'm using today is a circle, a round oval shape. So my image is going to be smaller than my wood is, but I think it's still going to be pretty. I went large when I bought the wood, not thinking that you need a size wood that can handle your cutting machine. And I can't go larger than 12 inches. All right, so we're gonna now start to attempt to pull the black vinyl up off of that white paper backing. All right, just take your time. Like I said, you may have some bits that want to stay behind, and you may have some bits from another project. Like this piece of green right here. You are not going with us. All right, so just take your time. And if anything seems like it's not coming up, just kind of push down on it and pull again. You definitely want to focus on the pieces of the face. All right, so far so good. I got a piece of black over here that does not belong. All right, I'm gonna keep moving. We did it! We did it! So we got all of our design now onto the transfer sheet. Now we're going to be taking this over to our wood. So let me grab my wood. All right, guys, so I have my transfer, and I have that little piece of black vinyl that was from the previous project, so I'm glad I caught it before I got ready to varnish this. All right, so here's the wood that I'm going to be using, and I bought this at Michael's, and so it has the little area here where we can hang this. So I'm super excited about this, guys. So we're gonna go ahead now and we're going to get our image transferred over to the wood. Over to the wood. Hopefully we'll get it transferred over to the wood as easy as we got it picked up from that vinyl backing. Now I want to make this as centermost as possible before I lay it. So I might not be spot on, but I'm gonna try my best. This is where I said the image is smaller than my wood. I'm gonna, wait a minute, y'all. See another piece of vinyl. that's not supposed to be there. All right, y'all. Let me try to grab that up. It might be on the front. Yeah, it's on the front. All right, don't cause me problems now at this point thing, because we in the home stretch. All right, I think that's kind of centered. All right. I don't know where that little piece came from. I lost his eyebrow right there. But I got a finger over here. I'm going to see if I can fix it, because I didn't realize I lost it. Maybe it came from right there, but I don't know, and we ain't going to worry about it. We got it for the most part. We're going to go ahead and lay this baby down. I'm going to pick it up and let you see. So this is now on our wood, and we're now going to go in and we want to pick the transfer tape up so that when we put down our solution, that we can put the solution directly on top of the areas where it needs to fill in all these spaces for us. Okay, so I'm gonna start now with trying to get this now to stay down on this right here, to stay down on the wood. Y'all keep forgetting to bring y'all back into the frame. Sorry. Chime in the comments if I missed anything or you didn't hear anything. Just chime in the comments. All right. So because I have some vinyl that doesn't have anything to support it, this is the part that will be the hardest to pull off, because you don't have anything to have the vinyl staying on the back of. So for me, it may be easier if I go in and cut this to pull these off, but then I lose my full transfer sheet. Oh, good. Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom. It may be... No, I'll go ahead and start from the top. I'm just going to do my best to not lose anything. All right. So I'm just going over those bits that I told you is really easy to lose. Like I lost that eyelash, or the eyelash, and didn't even realize it. So, and the funny part is it's not over here on this, so I don't know where I lost it at, but I lost it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do my best to start from here. Probably have to get the weeding tool to kind of help me out a little bit. So now we're going in to get the vinyl to stay down on our board. So I'm trying to pull up that vinyl where I don't have it supporting anything supporting it. All right, y'all, hold on. Let's see if I can get it like that. If I flip it over and have that support there. This is not going to matter, because this part is not going to be a part of the project. Baby, this vinyl is not playing with me. And my nails. All right. Let's see if I can get that to stay back there. There we go. All right. We're going to start pulling up. You want your vinyl to stay down now. And guys, this transfer tape, even though it's not the strong grip, it's got a grip. Okay. it has a grip. I can feel it as I'm pulling. Y'all see that? It start to peel up her head, this little part of her hair. So just keep an eye out on those bits. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get this bottom to cooperate with me. Now, even though this part right here is the trickiest part, I love the end results of doing this. And I just did the first one yesterday for those that saw that video. And now I am in love. And I don't know if y'all know, but once I get focused on a project, it's hard to do other stuff. It's hard to focus on other projects once I find one that I really like. All right, this was the part of the vinyl that I took from another transfer sheet. So that's why it's split down there. All right, got the inside of my little letter thing down here trying to come up on me. So there we go. Like I said, keep that weeding tool handy, guys, because you will need it to help you to keep your vinyl down for parts that want to just pop up. Keep that weeding tool handy. And just take your time. Keep going. I need to take a coffee break. This got me stressed out. This got me stressing. All right. I'm gonna use my nail. Try to help me hold stuff down. Whatever works. So the end result is you don't lose your transfer tape by having to just destroy it, and you don't lose bits of your image. And this is a doozy. This is a big one, because you're not only focusing on just one area, because you have your vinyl to start falling back down on the other area, and it's like you're having to pull that part too. All right, let's go up here and let's see if we can get the rest of this off without losing anything. All right, lost a little part of her neck right there. So I'm gonna go back in. Use my weeding tool to help me hold it down. Got it. We got it, y'all. Got it. We're halfway home. I tell you, this little boy's face is giving me the hardest time. He like, I don't want to play. I don't want to be a part of it. All right. Turn it around. All right. I don't want to lose her finger area. Y'all, I think the hardest part is done. I say that, but I think the hardest part is done. We got the majority of the face and everything still in there, minus the little boy's eye. We're gonna fix that. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna fix it. And so far, so good. I wanted you all to be able to see the full part right here, because this is the trickiest part. All right. This is when I start deciding whether or not I need to just cut some of the vinyl, not vinyl, but the transfer sheet, because you can piece the transfer sheet together. Because what I don't want to have to do is keep going back over areas that I've already moved, because that's when you start losing stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some of this transfer tape off. I don't want it to fall back down on my image. So I'm going to move some of the transfer tape off, because like I said, this one is a doozy because it's a large project. So I'm just going to take this and place it back on here, because you can use bits and pieces of transfer tape. All right. Now we don't have to relive that falling back down onto my image. All right, and we're gonna snip again, because I don't want this to keep falling down, because it's gonna cause me to have a mental breakdown in a minute, and y'all don't want to see that. Y'all do not want to see that. Trust and believe, y'all don't want to see that. Y'all don't want to see it. Okay. All right. I'm going to focus on this bottom, because I pretty much got the top. I want to focus on this bottom now. This bottom is what's causing my head to hurt and keeping me from my breakfast. So we're about to go to battle. All right, that was easy breezy. Sometimes you just gotta refocus that energy. be there. It may be there. Just keep your eye on it to make sure you're not losing anything. All right, y'all. I think we in there. I think we in there, y'all. I think we are in there. All right. Now remember, this is the part we already done. But once that falls back down, it's like starting over again. It was rough, but we made it. All right, so now we'll be able to reuse this transfer tape, y'all. Even though it looked like, you know what, we'll be able to reuse the transfer tape. All right, so now my focus is just making sure that I don't have anything sticking up. So I'm gonna go down, not down, but I'm gonna go over my image and make sure all my vinyl is laying down, because you don't want your solution to get underneath there. If it gets underneath, then your image is gonna look off, and we don't want that. We don't want off. We come too far for our image not to be right. So you just want to make sure you press it down really good so that the solution cannot get underneath your template. All right, so now we're ready to put our solution on. And this is solution that I made yesterday that I was like, there's a lot of solution left. Can I reuse this? So here I am. Here I am, y'all. Got my little blanket around me because it's cold. All right. A piece of green vinyl there. Now that we have transferred our image over to our wood, let's see what that looks like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the solution, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the solution and we're going to be putting the solution in all these open spaces of our image. All the wooden parts that you can see, we're going to be placing our solution there, okay? Just make sure that everything is tacked down nicely so that you get the full picture, okay? You don't want to end up where the solution is getting underneath areas. So just make sure that you got it pressed. All right, guys, so right here where I lost his eyelash, I have this finger, the hand from the mom. I'm gonna take and see if I can cut off a piece of this to make an eyelash. All right, so y'all pray for me. Just pray for me. Let me see, I'm gonna take it from right about there. So that's one thing when I do projects like this, not just the woodworking, but because I'm new to this part, but when I use vinyl and I have little bits and pieces, when I have bigger pieces that I'm not using, I always put them to the side just in case I lose something. I can go back and pull from that. All right, so I'm just going in trying to cut this down to make it look like an eyebrow. I'd rather have something there than nothing, because right now he looks really weird and I don't like it. I probably needed my smaller scissors. All right, let's see what we got. Nah, that didn't work. Let me get another piece of the finger. Maybe I'll get it shaped like I want it before I cut it. I only need just a little piece. All right, let's see if this will work. It still looks kind of big. Let me put it where the tool go to. Okay, got my weeding tool. And we're gonna see if this looks wonky. I can always cut it, I can always trim it down to show you guys. So I'm trying to give him an eyebrow. I think that'll be good. I just need to get it a little bit thinner. A little bit thinner. And I'm gonna put that eyelash right there. Well, our made up eyelash. Made up eyelash. Because we're having to improvise right now. Because we lost his eyelash somewhere in the fire. Alright, that doesn't look bad. I'd rather have something there than nothing. You guys can see that. So I just took a part of what was her finger, and I saved that because I know sometimes you lose bits of the face, and I ended up saving her hand because I was like, if I lose any of these parts, I can replace it with those fingers. All right, so that's how we do that. There's a little tip for you to save some of those bits of vinyl that you're not going to use because you may be able to use them elsewhere. And now that I think about that, maybe I can do better on the eye that I lost. I might be pushing it, y'all, but let me see. I don't want to scare y'all into not taking risk. Sometimes you just gotta, what do they say, pop up and show them. All right, so I'm gonna take that and put it there, and then I'm gonna remove this. And just in case it don't work out, I'm gonna put it over to the side. I'll go back and get it. But let me see if I can shape this little piece a little bit better to make it look more like an eye. All right, y'all. As long as I get it on there, we're good to go. And then we'll move it over. Oh yeah, I think that looks better. I think that looks better. I think that looks better than this. So we're gonna move that out of the way. And now that's what we have. And I'm gonna go with it. I'm not making any more changes. Guys, you can get really creative with this. I will put this template, I will put this on my Etsy shop for anyone that may want to use it. What I want to say is you could put the once you're in Cricut, you can add dates. So you can inscribe some dates in here, like the dates you became a mom. You could put those in here, or you could put names in here. But any of that would work. Okay, I didn't think about it until just now. I got that aha moment. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get ready. Once we put this solution on, guys, we have to let it dry. So this is the solution that I made on yesterday. It's like a gel using the Cricut and the ammonium chloride with some warm water. If you want to see how I made this, guys, go back to that previous video because I'm not going to remake. As you can see, it made a lot, and I just can't see myself throwing it away. Y'all know crafters, we try to save everything. So I took and covered this up, and here I am. All right, you want to do less is more, so I'm going to try to get off as much of it as I can. Hold on, y'all. I'll try to bring you up and aim you down. Like, sometimes my tripod thing don't want to act right. All right. I think I got you guys all in the frame. All right, so you're just going to take and you're going to go inside of the image. You want to get that solution all inside of the image. If you get it on the vinyl, that's fine. It's not going to pick up anything sitting on top of the vinyl, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry. Yesterday, I think I let it sit for like an hour and 45 minutes because I just wasn't in a rush. But I let it sit for like an hour and 45 minutes. And then I you'll peel up the vinyl after that. All right, so you just want to take your time and go inside all of the bits, because the area where you see the wood, that's where we're going to be using our heat gun to make it look like we did wood burning. Now, I am thickening up how I'm applying it this time, because I think yesterday I didn't apply enough, but we're going to find out. All right, so I am laying it on a little bit heavier than I did yesterday. And get inside of all of the areas where the wood is. If you touch the vinyl, perfectly fine. This is where I said you want to make sure that your image is flat to the surface, to the wood, because you don't want any of the solution to get underneath the vinyl, because then it's going to interfere with your overall look and feel of your image. All right, this is the easiest part right here, y'all. we're in the home stretch. This is the easiest part right here, is applying this solution. We have finished all of the hard part. All right. So, like I said, just go and make sure you got all of the wood area filled in. And we're not going to fill in anything past the vinyl. So this area over here, we're not doing anything with that. Just the areas inside the image. And then we'll allow this to dry. So I'll probably just let it dry while I'm working. And then I'll come back and we'll remove the vinyl and we'll use my heat gun to then varnish this or burn this into the wood. Y'all, I got so many ideas running through my mind on more projects like this. I'm just thinking of all the things I could do. I love this. I love this. All right, so this is going to answer my question. Can you reuse the solution that you have left over from the first time? We're going to find out today. So I hope all my efforts are not in vain. All right. All right. So I think I got everything. It looks like I did. The last thing you want to realize is there was an area that you did not put your solution on. All right. And now it's just a waiting process. We're going to let this dry. Like I said, we'll come back, we'll remove the vinyl, and then we'll go outside and apply and use my heat gun. So this is it. Y'all, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see if it worked with that extra solution, and we're all gonna find out together. So now we're just gonna let this dry. All right, so I'll be back. All right, guys, so this is what our design looks like now that the solution we put on here has dried. I'm going to go ahead and remove the vinyl from here, and then we're going to go ahead and add the heat. And this has been sitting for hours, guys. Not that it has to. Yesterday, I think I did 1 hour and 45 minutes, but this has been sitting since this morning. So I'm just going to go in and start to remove the stuff off of here. So let me see if I can get a grip on it with my nails. And we're just gonna take it off. Move my mat, because I don't want this stuff all over my mat. I hope it turns out nicely. Baby, I put that vinyl on the back of this thing good. I didn't think I had it stuck on there that good. All right. Let's get all this off. And I'm wondering if it's going to varnish or heat up better because I let it sit longer. I wonder if it's going to show up better since we made the solution for it on yesterday, and it's had hours for the solution to sit before I used it instead of wait 10 minutes. Oh, I have so many questions, y'all. It's like my new favorite thing to do is this right here. And when I find a favorite, it's hard for me to go back and do other stuff. Because I do have to keep in mind as a content creator that not everyone has the same, supplies and stuff that I have. So I have to try to stay versatile, but sometimes it's hard because you just get used to doing one thing and that's all you want to do. My other tripod thing broke today. It's always like, if it's not one thing, it's something else, Lord Jesus. All right, I'm going to finish taking this off. I just want you guys to see that it was dry. I'm going to get these little bits off of here. I can see the image in there really, really good. I wonder, can you guys see that? Let's see. If I hold it up like that, if you guys can kind of see it, but I can. So I'm going to go ahead and finish taking this vinyl off of here. Let's see if I can get these off really quickly without taking up too much time. And then we're going to take it outside. Highly recommend take it outside to put the heat gun on it and, go from there. So I'm trying to move fast because I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. You want to get close to it with the heat gun, but not close enough to where you burn it. But yesterday, it did take me to get kind of close for it to start changing colors. And then I did end up with one little burn spot. So I'm hoping today, since I have a little experience under my belt now, that I did the first one, that I can get it just right today. I am super stoked about this one, y'all. I should have put, because I made this for myself, I should have put my kids' dates of birth on here. But I still have space where I can go back and add them. And I just may do that. So give it a cool element. All right, almost done. All right, got about 6 more little pieces to take off. And then we'll be ready to get this party started right. I still see that little piece of green vinyl that I've been trying to get rid of. I take a rag, guys. Once I get the stuff off of here, I take a rag and just kind of wipe over it to make sure that I don't have any of the solution sitting somewhere from where I took up everything. And then I end up burning it into my design and looking at it like, what is that? Like right there looks kind of, I can see why when I watch Mr. Smarty Pants, Crafty Pants, I don't know why I want to say Smarty Pants. I can see why he said to put it on thin. So, all right, y'all. We're ready to now take it outside and put the heat gun on it. So let's go ahead and go out. All right, guys, here we are outside. I'm gonna get started. is tired. All right, so that's what it's looking like so far. I'm gonna let it rest for a minute, and then I'm gonna come back. And I do notice that the closer you get, the darker it gets. But again, you don't want to get too close to where you burn it. But I do like it being light in some areas and dark in some areas. So if you guys can kind of see that, I do like that part. But I want to try to bring out the mom and the babies a little bit more. So I'm going to go in just a little bit longer. I think that's about it. Alright, y'all. That is it. Alright, so I'm going to take it inside because I got a lot of noise out here, and then we'll talk about it. Alright, guys, so here's our finished product. I did go in and burn it a little bit more, so just to get it a little bit darker. So, I love it. I absolutely love it, guys. So if you try this, you know, just kind of play around with it. See, we got our little eyebrow in there. But hopefully, you know, I gave you some good tips and tidbits along the way for when you lose pieces, you know, how you can, you know, re-put those back in there or try to attempt to put them back in there. But it looks much better with him having an eyebrow than no eyebrow. And it was good to know that I could reuse that solution instead of disposing of it. Now, Mr. Crafty Pants may have covered that in his video on how long you could keep that stuff, but I don't remember. But anywho, now I know that I can keep it a little bit longer. I just put a plastic lid on top and, you know, just saved it for the next time. So, anywho, if you have any questions, guys, just chime in the comments. I'll do my best to assist you, but I absolutely love this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, since I have a girl and a boy, which could be my son and my daughter, I'm going to go in and I'm going to put their birth dates. I'm going to put their birth dates on here. All right. All right, guys, that is it, and that is all. That's my story. You guys know I'm sticking to it, and you know my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye now.